Alexa, announcement.
What's the announcement?
We're going to try going live again. Please be quiet up there.
Announcing.
We're going to try going live again. Please be quiet up there.
Hello everyone, sorry about that. What can you say? It is frustrating working on the internet, and I'm going to leave that there. And yes, I'm okay. It's just this is reality. I do get very frustrated on a regular basis with how hard I work and how hard it is to make progress over here. However, I will continue because what else am I going to do? So today I wanted to talk to you about gratitude, ironically, because I was listening to a podcast with Russell Brand. So I listen to a podcast on my dog walks, and ironically called Happy Place, which is Fern. I want to say Fern Cotton's podcast that she does, in which she talks to various guests about the pursuit of happiness, I suppose, which is what we're all kind of after, really. And she thanks everyone. I really appreciate your understanding. This is Real Autism Life. She talks to various guests about the pursuit of happiness, and she did one during the lockdown. I think it was last week, with Russell Brand. And I know that people have quite mixed feelings about Russell because he is quite a big personality, but I really like him, and I really enjoyed what he had to say as part of this podcast. And one of the things that he talked about a lot was the benefit of gratitude for your physical and mental health. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit today before I get into my usual weekly live stream stuff. This is week 6. This is my 6th lockdown live stream, and I can't believe that I'm still doing it 6 weeks in, although you very nearly didn't get a live stream today, I've got to be honest, because the whole scheduling a live stream, being professional and it's totally failing, did kind of throw me, because it's hard, as I've said. Anyway, so I had a little look on the internet about gratitude to see if I could find, because I have a kind of sense that gratitude is a healthy and useful thing for our mental health. But I went to have a look to see if I could find some evidence for this. And by gratitude, what I mean is focusing on what you have got rather than what you haven't got, which is something that I think we all struggle with from time to time. And by no means am I saying that focusing on what you have got is always going to make you feel better about things that you're struggling with, but it is a useful daily practice. So I had a look on the internet, and yes, Mr. Purple is okay. You know, we are married. We've been married for 19 years and we've been in lockdown for a while, and we very rarely have a crossword, but as every couple will know, occasionally that happens. But he is still here on the laptop, typing away, supporting me, so thanks to Mr. Purple for that. So what I found in terms of evidence about gratitude as a healthy thing is, first of all, it is good for our brains. They did a study in 2019, the National Institute of Health did a study which showed that I'm going to say this wrong probably, our hypothalamus, which is a part of our brain, is activated when we feel gratitude. So the hypothalamus is responsible for regulating a number of bodily functions, including appetite, sleep, metabolism, and growth. So when we feel grateful, it works more effectively, essentially. I also found that they have done multiple studies in terms of gratitude and sleep, and the studies show that it improves the quality, decreases the length of time to fall asleep, and lengthens the duration of sleep. So that's got to be a good thing. And finally, I found a study that proves that gratitude reduces anxiety and depression. And when I say this, I don't mean that everybody who has anxiety and depression and practices gratitude is going to feel better. I'm just saying that it has had impact on some people. So in a recent study, it was found they had a group of anxious and depressed subjects, and they participated in a gratitude letter writing experiment, which showed significant behavioural changes. So they used MRI scans, which showed that there was an increase in neural modulation caused by changes in the prefrontal cortex, which meant that they were better able to manage negative emotions. And this was shown by doing an MRI scan of these people that took part in this gratitude letter writing. So here we have, it improves sleep, improves anxiety and depression, and it is good for the regulation of all of our bodily, but it can be so hard to do. So as I've mentioned multiple times in my videos, a practice of daily gratitude can be a really useful thing. And how you do this is really dependent on how you best record things. For me personally, it's a case of as part of my general kind of observation of my emotions and my mood and my anxiety levels, I would write a positive thing that happened each day. In addition to that, as a family, the Purple family try to gratitude as part of our daily life. So at the meal time each day, we ask our children, what is the best that happened to you today? And the children, we would go around the table. So I think that as part of our daily lives only takes a small amount of time, but if it can have a positive impact, it seems worth that effort. So whether that's keeping a notebook at the side of your bed, the best gratitude and how you're feeling about your lives. And obviously, it's not an owl, Rose, it's a sloth.
No.
There's an owl. Oh, somebody noticed. So each week, Robo-Boy has been bringing a different cuddly toy in this slot behind here, and it's been a different one every week for the whole of these 6 live streams. And today it is in fact an owl. Yes.
You're on the right.
What's that? Sorry.
You're on the right live internet.
I think so. Is anybody else having problems with the stream breaking up? Multiple people or just one person?
I am. You are. This person. Sorry.
I don't seem to be. I mean, it's working fine here.
Keep going.
Maybe the universe is like, Purple Ella will not live stream today. First she'll have a meltdown. A little bit, yes. I think I can go out and check my Wi-Fi and come back without. I'm back now. Is anyone having problems right now? It's gone now. Okay. It seems to be better now. If there are any more problems, do let me know. I think perhaps someone out there thinks that I should be sat on the sofa watching the telly. But I'm grateful for the audience that I do have. It's hard to have gratitude. I think it's really easy to get into a mindset of feeling sorry for yourself and feeling like everyone else has it easier than you, or feeling like that other people have things better than you, or it's a really easy mindset to kind of in life where you feel like the odd one out or the person who has struggled. It can be really easy to kind of take that into your adult life. And for me personally, I have struggled with not feeling like, feeling like the victim, with not feeling like I'm succeeding. And when you get into that mindset, it's really easy to start noticing the negatives and not noticing the positives, essentially. So I could get into, I'm disabled, I'm autistic, I'm not getting many YouTube subscribers, I'm all of the things that I struggle with, without noticing that I'm also an amazingly lucky person who has my own home and a garden and my beautiful children and my wonderful husband and plenty of really supportive subscribers and a wonderful dog and all the things here. So how do you get out of a bad mindset? I think that for me personally, sometimes you do need to just go dark for a little while, and you do need to cry, and you do need to feel sorry for yourself. I think the trick is keep that time limited. So have an hour to feel sorry for yourself and then pick yourself back up again. And that's one of the things that my friends who've known me for a long time have always said about me, is that no matter what happens, no matter how much it seems like I might be struggling, I will always pick myself back up again and have another go. I'm not someone who is generally broken very easily. So I think it's about giving yourself permission to feel sorry for yourself from time to time, and then focusing on what you've got going on for you to try and lift yourself out of that place. So yeah, I think that's, Sam. Oh, hi Sam. I think that's really useful. Thinking about what I have now is what I used to wish for. I remember when I was younger, I had a costume maker because I was a circus artist, and we used to visit this costume maker's home in order to get our costumes made. And she had a beautiful home. She had this amazing home, and she had children, and she had a dog, and she had a cat, and I think she had some guinea pigs in the garden or something like that. And we used to go there, and we were living in a one-bedroom flat at the time, and we used to go there, and I used to say to Mr. Purple, "Oh, I love this house," and he used to say to me, "One day we'll have this." And now I look at what I've got, and I have all of those things that I used to see in that lady's house. So that's a really good point to make, looking at where you are now in relation to where you were in the past and what you'd hoped for, and whether you have some of that in your life now could be really useful. So yeah, gratitude, I think, is kind of the theme of the week for me. It's trying to be grateful for what I have got, and I think it's kind of ironic that I let things get to me at the start of this live stream when I came here with the intent of talking about gratitude and keeping it together. So I guess that's like a really good example for you guys of the fact that I do struggle. And thank you. I'm now just getting really like, you're all complimenting me, and I'm getting really like embarrassed because I'm not very good at being complimented. But I do appreciate your support, everybody. So yeah, I think actually it's embarrassing for me that this live stream started with me losing the plot, but it's actually kind of a really good example of reaching that place for me personally today and making that internal effort to lift myself out of that place and to list the things we are hey, I got a new member, thanks Simon, and to list the things which are good about my life right now and try and focus on those things. So I've just given you a real life example of how to pull yourself out of darkness in gratitude. So yeah, there you go. Real life, real Ella crying on the internet like a toddler. So moving on, would you guys like me to move on now to my usual live stream extravaganza? I have got book of the week, film of the week, TV show of the week. I've already given you a podcast. I'm going to need my iPad, which is over there. So would you just pass me that? Thank you. And I also have Lego. So I'm going to start with Lego because, film of the week. Okay, Beth, you win. Film of the week. Film of the week is a cheery film, which is quite old now. But it will cheer you up. This film will definitely cheer you up, especially if you are a fan of, you've heard I'm not a real internet YouTuber. Well, I cried on the internet. I think that's the first time I've ever cried on the internet. So I think 4 years in, that's pretty good going, isn't it? So film of the week, if you are a fan of Paul Rudd, who I love Paul Rudd. I love him back from when he was Phoebe's husband, Mike, in Friends, and I have him throughout his career. I just think he's a lovely, lovely man, from what I can tell. And the film that I'm recommending is I Love You Man with Paul Rudd, which is about Paul Rudd getting married, and his fiance asks him to pick a best man, and he realizes, yes, and he was in Clueless too, and he realizes that he doesn't have any friends and can't pick a best man, so essentially goes out to try and find a friend so that he can be best man and not look like a fool in front of his fiance. It's really funny, especially if you like Paul Rudd. I believe that it's on Netflix. It's certainly on one of the streaming channels that I watch, and it will definitely cheer you up. I'm kind of going with a cheery theme all round here because my book of the week is also a cheery book. So that's my film of the week, I Love You Man, with Paul Rudd and some other people, some other actors. So my book of the week is a very cheery book. It's like a warm hug in a book. And it is a book by Julie Kaplan, and it's called The Little Cafe in Copenhagen. It is a kind of trashy book, really, the kind of book you might take on holiday to read on the beach. It's about a girl called Kate who lives in London and lives a very fast-paced, stressful life, and she ends up going to Copenhagen to work in a cafe and learn all about hygiene. I think I'm saying that right. Hygiene. I don't really know how to say the word, but you all know what I mean. And it's just a lovely, positive story which makes you feel like you've had a hug. So that is Julie Kaplan, The Little Cafe in Copenhagen. My TV of the week is World, which is on the BBC iPlayer at the moment. This is the second series. The first series is also still there. Basically, I think it's 6 or 7 couples given a very limited budget, no mobile phones allowed, and they have to get from one point in the world to another point in the world. In case they were going to Argentina, I want to say. Yeah, they had to finish in Argentina. And it's as much about the relationships between the couples as it is about the race. And I think it's really fun and enjoyable, and I really liked it. So that is currently on the BBC iPlayer. There are 2 seasons on there right now, Race Around the World. And then, oh, I'm dropping things. It's just a mess today on the live stream. Sorry about that. Next thing I wanted to get into is my isolation creations. I love this. I'm really enjoying this section of my live streams, especially because it makes me feel like a Blue Peter presenter. Or those of you who are old enough to remember Tony Hart. Tony Hart, was that his name? He used to have a bit where he showed people's pictures at the end, and I feel a little bit like him. So I firstly got Kathleen in Belgium, who created a new top for a stool out of metalwork, and I think this is really impressive because I definitely could not be making something like this. She made that entire top for her stool. So good work, Kathleen. Love it. Next up, I've got Michelle Goldman. Michelle is in the US, but she's... No, she is from the US. Michelle Goldman, who lives in the US, and made these lockdown stickers. She made this unicorn, and it says Battle of the Butts 2020 quarantine. And I can't tell you, presumably you can buy these somewhere, but I can't tell you where because she didn't let me know. And there's also a little frog who is also saying the same thing. So when she sent me these stickers, this gave me a bit of an idea, because I've never really gotten into the whole merchandising thing because it's scary and terrifying, and I'm not sure about designing t-shirts. However, I did think that it might be good for me to design some stickers, because that doesn't sound too terrifying. I could do it on my iPad in the same way that I've been doing a lot of the art, like little cartoons and stuff that I've been creating in the last 6 months or so. And they would be reasonably cheap, because if you make t-shirts for YouTube, in order to make any money from the t-shirts, you have to charge like a shed ton of money. You have to charge like 25 quid, and I don't want to charge 25 quid for a t-shirt because it seems like a lot. So I thought I could do stickers at a more affordable price, because then all I've got to do is design the sticker, send it off to a sticker making company, and post them out to you guys. So if anyone would be interested in Purple Ella stickers, do leave me a comment and I will think about that. Okay, so next up, I've got Kate Hutchinson, who is in the UK at the moment, but is from Australia, and she has made a traditional Australian biscuit called an Anzac biscuit, which is sandwiched together with golden syrup buttercream, and I think you'll all agree that these look absolutely delicious. I don't think it's really doing them justice showing them on my iPad, but they do look really yummy. So when she sent those to me, it did just basically make me hungry. So thanks for that, Kate. I've also got from Rose, who is a regular here and also a member of the Purple Ella Purple People. And she drew, I'm just going to make sure, Snufkin from the Moomins. And I think it's very cute. I very much like it. So thanks for that, Rose. Very good. Thanks for those of you that are joining us. I know I'm not on the scheduled live stream. There was a whole technical thing. I cried on the internet. Then I deleted me crying on the internet, so don't go back looking for that. Sorry about that. I will figure it out. Then, do you remember last week I told you that I was going to have a go at making macarons last weekend, and I'd show you if it worked? Well, basically, it worked really well. The macarons worked. I was a very happy Ella, and it's a picture of how glorious my macarons were. Macarons, Purple Ella. They were very yummy. I sandwiched them together with raspberry jam. And finally, obviously, it wouldn't be a lockdown live stream without a creation from Mark, who, as you guys who are regularly here will know, is making food that does not look like the picture of the food that he was supposed to make. So Mark, this week, I have to say, this week's is a little bit disappointing. They actually look quite good. So this week he decided to make snickerdoodles, This is the picture of what the snickerdoodles should look like. And bear in mind, the people that did this picture had like lighting. They probably even painted the snickerdoodles. And this is Mark's actual snickerdoodles, which I think Mark might be getting better at baking because I think his snickerdoodles actually look pretty good this week. I said to him on Twitter that I was almost a little bit disappointed that they looked so good because I was being so amused by the things that didn't look good, and then maybe I offended him a little bit. But hey, I think it's all okay because I think he's enjoying the live streams anyway. So those are my isolation creations, and finally, yeah, he is getting better. Finally, I have my Lego model of the week, except that it's multiple Lego models because these Lego models kind of really go together, and I wouldn't want to spread them out over a couple of weeks. Although I probably should, because who knows how long this lockdown is going on for. We could be here for months and months, right? I might run out of Lego, but I'm nowhere near running out of Lego yet, so no worries on that front. So the first one is the Ghostbusters car macarons. Macarons are made with almonds, and they look like the picture that I showed you. Macaroons are made with coconut, and they're those things that are like little biscuits that are entirely covered in coconut that are disgusting because coconut is horrible and should never be eaten. Anyway, this is the Ghostbusters car from the original Ghostbusters film with the cat from the original Ghostbusters film, which is awesome, and I was very excited about getting this one. And then a couple of months after I made this a few years ago, but a couple of months after I made it, they brought out the Ghostbusters car from the remake of Ghostbusters with the female cast, which I think you'll agree is also awesome. Is everybody agreeing with me that coconut should never be eaten? I mean, it's horrible. I can spot coconut from in anything. Even if something was made in a factory next to something that had coconut and never had coconut anywhere near it, I can still tell that it has coconut in it. Oh, we've got people that like coconut. Oh dear. Might be time to end the live stream. Don't know. What do you think? Only on certain things. I wish that I like coconut because I'd really like to like, for example, Thai green curry. I like curry. I like Thai food. Can't like Thai green curry because it has coconut in it. Macaroons look delicious but contain coconut. Not liking coconut is life limiting, guys. It's life limiting. Okay, I appear to have gotten through 23 minutes of live stream without crying. Go me. And now I've said all the things that I was going to say, and I'm not sure what else to say. Is there anything that you guys would like to ask me before I go and hide my very embarrassed and ashamed head? Apologise profusely to Mr. Purple for being grumpy and mean.
Which you don't need to do.
Which I don't need to do, apparently, but I probably will. And, could I make pin badges? That is one thought. Yeah, basically like stickers and pin badges. So I've got merchandising, which is actually affordable, like not insanely expensive. Because I have a favourite YouTuber who is not an autism YouTuber, but is a disability YouTuber, and she has merchandise, and I went and looked at it. It's great. Oh, so Sam, who you guys might know, I'm going to be on Sam's live stream on Friday at 7 o'clock UK time. Is now saying that she likes coconut, so this may be a reason for cancelling that live stream. What do you think? Is a conflict in opinions about coconut a good reason to cancel a live stream? Put your answers in the comment box now. Additionally, I have seen Sam's footage and filmed my footage for a follow-up video the next week about autistic parenting, and I will say it is looking really good, and I'm very excited about that. And I will also say, awkward. I will also say Sam and I had a really long chat last week, and on a personal person-to-person level, I really liked her. She's really nice. So hopefully there will be many more collaborations in our future if I don't cry too much and just become a mess of someone who can't cope with life and the universe. Have I got a question?
Simon B, what's the first thing you'll do once lockdown is lifted?
What's the first thing that I'll do once lockdown is lifted? Well, that's an interesting question, Simon. Actually, I commented on Twitter this week, and it was a very, very retweeted and commented upon comment, so it must be true for many people, that I'm starting to get into the swing of lockdown and kind of enjoying it and kind of feeling a little bit anxious about having to go back to reality. So now I'm not sat here thinking, really want to go and do this thing. I'm sat here thinking, I really hope that we can all stay in our houses a little bit longer, which might be weird. Oh, hi Amy, can I make hair merch? Hair clip merch, that would be cool. I am wearing this little rainbow hair clip, which Amy, who just commented, did buy me from her summer in the summer. Yeah, that's a good idea. The little purple person hair clips. Those of you who are members will notice that I made some new emojis this week, one of which is a little purple Lego person, and I'm thinking a little purple Lego person hair clip could be pretty awesome. Yeah, some good ideas there. So maybe when lockdown's over, I will start looking into my range of affordable merchandising. So what will I do? Going back to that original question, what will I do? What will the first thing I do? I think the first thing that I want to do once lockdown is lifted, like fully lifted, and I'm able to do this, is go out for sushi. I miss sushi a lot. I'm a big sushi fan. I could basically eat sushi for... Hi! I can basically eat sushi for every single meal, and we've only had it once in 6.5 weeks, and it wasn't particularly great sushi that we were able to get hold of. So that's shopping bags. We've got all the ideas for merchandising. I'm loving it. Yes, maybe. I think maybe if I start with stickers and pin badges and we go from there, so that I don't have another panic, meltdown, stress, freak out. What do you guys want to do when lockdown is over? And is anyone else feeling the same way that I do in terms of quite enjoying? Because for me, I think the reason, obviously, I'm devastated that people are dying, and that is really devastating, and I don't by any means want to make light of the situation that we're all currently in. But putting that to one side in terms of my own personal situation, being at home all the time, I think that because I'm no longer having to mask quite so much and go out and do lots of meeting people and do lots of professional meeting type stuff and traveling and just dealing with noises and big smells, and I think that because I'm not having to do those things, that's reducing my overload and my anxiety, and that's making it easier for me to cope with day-to-day life. And on the whole, apart from today, I would say that I am coping better than I would normally. So I'm scared to go back to that because I don't know how that's going to feel, having had this break and seeing how good it is for me. But I will be happy to get sushi, bubble tea, and all of those kinds of things. Yeah, exactly. I'm a little bit scared of how to do interactions all over again. Have got some exciting news. You guys will also know that I have been a little bit obsessed with the lack of bubble tea in my life over the last 6 weeks because I love bubble tea. And at the weekend, a bubble tea shop in Bristol reopened for delivery on Deliveroo, and I had bubble tea and it was amazing and I did love it. It's not my favourite bubble tea shop because they aren't open, and it was nowhere near as good as my usual favourite bubble tea shop. However, it was bubble tea and it was good enough and it was better than nothing. So I did enjoy that. I think I've got another question.
So God Almighty's asking, what's your advice on dating for autistic people?
God Almighty, I'm loving the name. Dating for autistic people. Whew. So I haven't dated since I was 20. Just to put that out there. I think that sorry, post near meltdown brain is like, there's a question, you should answer it. I don't know how people date now. Everybody's dating using dating apps, right? These days, because when I was dating, back when I was someone who was dating and not someone who was married, it was that you went down to the pub or you went to a club or you went to a social and you met someone, and obviously wasn't particularly autism friendly, so I did a lot of drinking alcohol in order to be able to do those things, in order to be able to meet people, which was not ideal. So I think dating apps might make things a bit easier. I am aware that there are dating apps specifically for geeks, kind of dating apps for people that are into gaming or into board games or into, that kind of nerd culture. So I think that's a good starting point. I think maybe starting with a dating app that's specific to an interest that you have, so that you can go into a situation with someone where you are doing something together rather than just sitting in a restaurant expected to talk, and then being honest about who you are and what you want your life to look like, because there is no point in embarking in a relationship with someone who wants completely different things from you. I have always been very direct in my dating and in my relationship, so I think that's a good way to go. It's worked out okay for me. Anybody else want to give some good advice? Because I'm rambling, words are coming out, and I'm not sure any of it is actually helpful.
Beth asks, what is bubble tea?
What is bubble tea? Bubble tea, as Amy so aptly put it, is life. But specifically, it is a tea drink. It's made with tea, usually black tea or green tea, and then it's either with milk or with fruit. So you can either get milky bubble tea or fruity bubble tea, and they will be things like strawberry flavoured or lychee flavoured or mango flavoured, either milky or not milky. I don't have milky because I'm lactose intolerant. And then in the bubble tea, you get bubbles which are either tapioca, which is the you make tapioca pudding from, that's been cooked and soaked in a syrup and is absolutely delicious, or popping bubbles, which are like little balls of juice with a skin that you pop, and then it's got juice inside them. And you can also get other kinds of things to put in them, like grass jelly and coconut jelly, and there's a bunch of different things that the pudding can be, that the bubbles can be. And it's a sensory experience. And weirdly, I was a bit weird being as obsessed as I am by bubble tea, but when the bubble tea shop opened at the weekend, they were so overwhelmed with orders in their first hour that they had to shut. So apparently it's not just me that was missing their bubble tea fix. So I hope that explains it. Can we have a bubble tea emoji? Good plan, purple people. I will. I need another 5 people to sign up as members, and then I get some more emojis opened up to create. And when that happens, I will make a bubble tea emoji. So what you've got to do, Rose, is go out into the street with a clipboard. No, actually, don't do that. We're in lockdown. Don't do that. Don't do that. Find people to join the purple people, and then I'll be able to make more emojis, and then I can make a bubble tea emoji. Hurrah! Woo! I think there are some more questions in there. A lot of talking about bubble tea.
Dating.
And dating, yes. Hey, people in the comments have given you much superior, I can't even form sentences now, far superior dating advice than I can give you, because I think I just got lucky. How do we become members? You become members by going to my channel and clicking on the join button, and it gives you all the information about how to join. If I'd have been able to use my scheduled live stream, it would be right there for you. Another reason why I was a little disappointed about that. But let's not go there, shall we? We're past that now, right? Because there's going to be a new... Amy's telling me that in Apple's... If you've got an Apple phone or whatever, in their new update, there's going to be a bubble tea emoji, apparently. That's pretty exciting. That is pretty exciting. Yeah, exactly, Katie. I think the thing is that I'm not sure, were I in the position that I had to date, that I would find anybody that would want to have a relationship with me. So I am a lot. I'm not going to lie. I am a lot. So I think I just got lucky in that I met someone who obviously needed a bit of crazy in his life and has stuck with me for the last 20 years. But I do feel like, no, I mean, that's underselling myself. He's obviously benefited greatly from being in a relationship with me, but I do feel like I'm not sure how easy it would be for me to meet someone through the whole dating thing, because, I don't know, I'd probably be like, either, hi Gary, good to see you. I'd either be too much and like in your face how I can be, sometimes on here, or I would not know what to say at all, and I would just eat food and not say anything. So I think it could be really tricky. Are there any more questions? I'm sure that...
Actually, how do you do mindful breathing?
I don't know. No, I do know. You breathe in through your nose for a certain number of counts. 4 or 5 counts. You hold it at the top for 2 counts. You breathe out for 6 counts. Breathe in for 4, hold it for 2, breathe out for 6. Breathe in for 4, hold it to 2, breathe out for 6. I've got something going on here that I quite like. So, yeah, dating is a tough one. Maybe what I was going to do was I've made a video which you can find if you go and have a look about being in a relationship as an autistic person, or romance and autism, or I made a video about autism and sexuality with Roz, but I think there's also maybe one about relationships. If not, I ought to make that. I'll put it on my list because that would be good. I wish that you could take bloopers from live streams, because this would make quite an entertaining if I just put all the nonsense together. Anyway, I'm just talking nonsense now, so I think it's probably time for me to wrap this up. I'm so deeply grateful to you all. In reality, people lose it. You know, I'm here on the internet as an autistic YouTuber because I think because I'm coping all the time and everything's completely fine for me. Because if that were the case, then why would I be here talking about autism? I'm here talking about autism because I struggle. I do struggle, but I struggle a lot less than I used to. And I think in some ways maybe it's good that you guys see that the reality is, yes, I have meltdowns sometimes, and when I have meltdowns I am irrational. And I think it's good that I stopped being irrational on the internet and pulled it back together again. Thank you so much. Oh my, look at all of my emojis. If you guys would like to see the custom emojis that I have created for the purple people, Rose has just shared the heck out of them. And I drew those all from hand, and they're beautiful. Bye, Sam. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for always being here. I will be back next week, hopefully with less tears. If I can't figure out how to schedule something that I can then join, I'll just do what I always do and put it up on the day. So thank you all for being here. I will be back next week. Have a good week. Take care of you. And goodbye for now. Oh, on Friday, the video is a good video on Friday, so I'm going to tell you about it. On Friday, my video is about autism and the benefits of dogs for people with autism, only in a much more friendly titled kind of way, in which I'm talking about my exciting new plans for Coco. And then on Friday, after that video comes out at 7 o'clock UK time, I will be, British Summer Time, I will be over on Sam's channel, which is Yo Sam Do Sam, on her live stream. So head over there on Friday and we will be talking about the diagnostic process for adults, which is something that I know you all often have a lot of questions about. So I'll see you over there on Friday. I'll be putting out my usual video on Friday. The purple people will be getting their special video on Monday. So if you want to see that video, join in time, and I'll be back here next Wednesday. Wow, I'm busy, right? Bye, everybody.